Alright, today we're going to be checking out Comic Book Universe. It's a fairly new game, Grey Dog software, written on a fairly old engine, but um, they definitely get the most out of this old engine. The screen is split into two because the game will not run full screen even at 1080p, um, but it does a lot of things that no other game can do. So it's very detailed, intricate stuff. I'm using a mod called Dial M for Marvel by Paul Hughes. I'm using version 2.1 of his mod. I have generated images using Midjourney AI software, which gives me a kind of a consistent theme with my images, which I really like. Spent a lot of time on that, more time than I have playing the game. But today we're going to do a watcher version of the game. We're not going to input, we're just going to watch the events take place and see what happens. As you can see on the your right side is an Excel sheet that has the photos, has everyone broken up into their factions. I'll update this as we go, as people get hurt, uh, possibly switch sides, move to the villain side, vice versa, get jailed, get injured. This will help us track what's happening with everyone. And then I have a combat page. This helped me visualize where everyone was on the battlefield and their tactics. So just a quick explanation here. The in the open, where you see the first fight we're going to have, I did go into the first fight just to kind of set and have all the characters in the right place. So in the first fight, we're going to have Deadpool, Cyclops, and Colossus. They're in the open, which is a default. There's no bonuses to melee, no bonuses to range, no bonuses to defense. The further back you get better defenses. So, for instance, Taskmaster, Sandman, and Bullseye are all in range cover. They can't make melee attacks from there, but they do get improved range attacks, and they get +2 to their range defense. So as the events unfold, they'll move around to either take advantage of their melee, or they can be drug out into the open by getting hit. So I'll update that as we go along, see how well that works out. Haven't planned all this out too well, just going to kind of go with it and see what happens. So we'll load up our watcher game. And our first comic book issue is a taking place in Hell's Kitchen. MODOK is plotting a terrorist attack in Hell's Kitchen. Before you have a chance to tackle his threat, you must first engage in a skirmish with a small crew he's assembled. So again, we've got Taskmaster, Bullseye, and Sandman. On the hero side, Colossus, Cyclops, and Deadpool. Going to let the computer run both sides, the AI, and see how it plays out. Here you can see where everyone is. Again, the heroes are in the open, the villains are in ranged cover. Everyone has 6 health except for Cyclops, he has 7.
Colossus is using the power shielding an ally on Cyclops. Cyclops has a side's next turn. Is range and synchronously start OT is.
Let's try that again.
Cyclops has had his ranged defense increased by 2 until the start of this side's next turn.
Alright, so Colossus used a buff on Cyclops. Now Deadpool.
Deadpool is using the power just in case the RNG is rigged.
Alright, so this has got to be activated. So he needs a 5 or 6 to activate this on the D6. He rolled a 2, so that failed. Now Cyclops. These are kind of like pre-battle buffs and debuffs.
Cyclops is using the power coordinating the attack on Colossus. Colossus has had his melee attack increased by 1 until the start of this side's next turn. Colossus is using the power pound into the ground on Bullseye.
Alright, let's see. So we're going to see if Colossus can close the distance with Bullseye. 4, 5, 6 would be a success. He did. Success.
As Colossus successfully closed the distance between them, Bullseye now has the position in the open.
Alright, so we'll move him to here into melee range. And now we are rolling for pound into the ground. So one of the settings I have set is I have a little more offensive game than the default if we get a tie on our rolls. So it will be offense. You'll check in this case, we're going to check Colossus's offense versus Bullseye's melee defense and roll a d6, 2d6. If the number is equal in the way I have mine set up, if it's equal, it's going to be a hit. So we will see. All right, so he rolled a 19 versus a 16 defense. You take the 7. There's some modifiers that got added on there. I won't go through all that, but anyway, so he's going to hit with the pound into the ground.
As a result of the power pound into the ground having automatic stun, Bullseye has been stunned until the start of this side's next turn. Colossus hit Bullseye with the power pound into the ground. Bullseye takes 2 points of physical damage.
Alright, so that got modified by 1. I took away 1 power because of Bullseye's antimanium bones. So he takes 2 damage there. So his health moves to bruised, and he now has 4 health points remaining.
Deadpool is using the power katana attack on Bullseye.
Alright, so we're ganging up on Bullseye now that he's out into the open. Just gets a hit. 17 versus 16.
Deadpool hit Bullseye with the power katana attack. Bullseye takes 2 points of physical damage. Bullseye has moved to the health level battered, 3 of 3. He has 2 points of health remaining.
So he's down to 2, and in addition to, one of the cool things this game does is you lose potency as your health goes down. So they've really weakened Bullseye. So either they can finish him off or they can start working on someone else. Let's see what they try to do. Cyclops.
Cyclops is using the powerful power optical blast on Bullseye.
That's a hit. So he's stunned.
As a result of the powerful power optical blast having automatic stun, Bullseye has been stunned until the start of this side's next turn.
He took 4 damage there. He has been KO'd.
Bullseye has been knocked out.
Alright, so Cyclops gains some power, some hero points with that, which he can spend during the course of the game to get bonuses and buffs. Now we will roll to see what happens with Bullseye. A bad roll, low, he would just flee the battlefield. Could have minor injuries, could have medium injuries. A 9 through 11, he could be jailed. A 12 could be a critical injury. So let's see what we get. Whew, critical injury. This could be our first death.
Bullseye has taken a critical injury and will now have to recover for a very lengthy period of time.
So we're gonna knock him off the battlefield.
Cyclops has chosen to move and is now in the position taken cover.
He's going to move back here. Assume the others are going to probably move too. So you get one move on each turn.
Deadpool has chosen to move and is now in the position taken cover.
Alright, so Colossus is going to stay out in the open. But a big turn for the heroes as they've whittled down the villains down to 2 now.
Sandman is using the power long-range giant sand fist on Colossus.
That's a hit.
As a result of the power long-range giant sand fist having automatic stun, Colossus has been stunned until the start of this side's next turn.
So he'll be unable to move. He took 2 points of damage. That did get reduced. That would have been a 4-point hit. But let me see if I can grab this text here.
Damage score modified -2 due to the power organic steel skin of Colossus. Final damage score 2.
So that takes him down. He has 4 health points left on Colossus. Now Taskmaster.
Taskmaster is using the power mimicking bullseye on Colossus.
So he mimics a lot of things that he sees, which is pretty neat. It's going to be a miss. Sandman now.
Sandman is using the power reduce visibility on Cyclops.
That succeeded.
Cyclops has had his range attack reduced by 1 until the start of this side's next turn.
Alright, that completes the villain's turn. Now for
Cyclops
free combat
is using
buffs.
the power combat leadership.
Attack actions increased by 3. That's huge. Alright, so Colossus is stunned. He's in the open. The other 2 have taken cover, and the 2 villains are in cover at ranged. And Cyclops has moved to at ranged. So he's going to get a +2 on his ranged attack, +1 on his ranged defense, but he cannot make melee attacks. Deadpool has gone aggressive. He's moving over here, and he gets +2 on his melee attacks, -1 on his ranged, -1 on his melee defense, and -2 on his ranged defense. So Deadpool getting extremely aggressive here. He's going to try to use his... Basically, this is going to give him a reroll.
Deadpool is using the power just in case the RNG is rigged.
If he can activate this, he would get a free reroll. He failed. He could use a reroll to try to get a reroll, but we won't do that. Cyclops now. He's going to use a big blast. You saw last time this does huge damage.
Cyclops is using the full power optical blast on Sandman.
So Sandman's got some ranged cover. That's going to be a hit.
Sandman is attempting to use his crumble and reform power to dodge. A 1/6 roll will decide whether it can activate it successfully. The table and roll are shown.
Alright, so basically to dodge this, he needs a 5 or 6. Got a 3. He's going to be stunned.
Full power optical blast having automatic stun.
He's going to get hit by 4 damage.
Sandman has moved to the health level crumbling, 3 of 3. He has 2 points of health remaining. Cyclops is using the power coordinating the attack on Deadpool.
Deadpool increases his melee even more. He's going after Sandman. They're trying to finish him off.
Deadpool is using the power katana attack on Sandman.
He rolled a 5 and still hit easily. Sandman takes 2 damage there and has been knocked out. Hero points for Deadpool for the kill, or for the knockout. Let's see how long he's out. Incarcerated 9 through 11. Critical injury 12. So we got a medium injury. So he's going to be out for a while. Colossus now, they're down to Taskmaster.
Colossus is using the power Steel Fists on Taskmaster.
Trying to close the distance, see if he can drag him out of range cover. He can. So he's closed the distance. Now he is on top of him. Misses though. That ends the heroic side's turn. So Taskmaster's going to have a rough time recovering from losing his 2 partners. Let's see. So he's moved back. So he got pulled out into the open by Colossus. Colossus missed, and he retreated back into his cover position.
Taskmaster is using the power mimicking bullseye on Cyclops.
That's going to be a hit.
Cyclops is attempting to use his battlefield awareness power to dodge.
He successfully dodged. That ends their turn. Alright, so we're going to get buffed up again by Cyclops. So now Colossus has gone aggressive to the melee side.
Colossus is using the power shielding an ally on Deadpool. Deadpool has had his ranged defense increased by 2 until the start of this side's next turn.
Okay, gonna see if we can get that reroll. He did. So he picks up an extra reroll if he needs it. He gets buffed up on his melee attack. And now he's gonna go for the katana attack on Taskmaster.
Deadpool is using the power katana attack on Taskmaster.
Massive hit.
Taskmaster is attempting to use his mimicking Shankai power to dodge.
He successfully dodged.
As the result of the power photographic reflexes, Taskmaster has gained the power expert hand-to-hand combatant from Deadpool.
So you can say he would have been really. I mean, the superheroes have had a lot of luck here, and the villains had a lot of bad luck. But Taskmaster's rough, especially if his allies would have held out. Looks like this is a foregone conclusion, but never know.
Cyclops is using the powerful power optical blast on Taskmaster.
That's a hit. Alright, so he's going to try to mimic Daredevil to try to dodge this. He's got a 50% chance to avoid it. He does not. So he's going to be stunned. He's going to take 4 damage there.
Taskmaster has moved to the health level seriously hurt, 3 of 3. He has 2 points of health remaining. Colossus is using the power Steel Fists on Taskmaster.
That's a hit. He's going to take 2. And has been knocked out. Let's see what his fate is. Will he be jailed? No, medium injury, so he's going to be out for a while. Alright, so the heroes mopped the floor with the villains there. We will exit. Again, that took place in Hell's Kitchen. A scheme from MODOK.
As a result of this encounter, there is now hostility between Colossus and Taskmaster.
Alright, so MODOK. This is part 2, MODOK terrorism.
Following the initial skirmish, you now engage M.O.Defeated.K and his allies in combat to stop him from launching an attack in Hell's Kitchen.
Alright, so we've got a terrorist attack in Hell's Kitchen, and we have, let's check out our sides here.
Colossus, Cyclops, Deadpool, Human Torch, Marvel Boy and North Star. Total cost, 40 stars. Change heroic side lineup. H. M.O.K, Medusa, Wrecker, Hobgoblin, Atlas and Songbird. Total cost, 34.5 stars.
Alright, so huge battle. And it's going to take me a moment to get everyone lined up for this. I'm going to cut the video here, get all our characters back out, and we will pick up in part 2.